Hey everybody, welcome back to Custom CAD Man. Today we are going to be running through the extrude function on Creo. This will be part 3 of our beginner series, and I'm going to start by actually making my working directory. So right click, set working directory, cancel. So once I've done that, we're going to do new part. And I'm going to call it extrude. It's going to be a solid, not any of the others. Please excuse my PC. It's having a bit of a bad day today. Okay, so now obviously before we can extrude, we have to start with a sketch. So I'm going to show you two ways of doing this. So either you can sketch, as we've done in part 1 and 2, sketch, sketch, and I'm going to select the center with my circle function, draw my circle, select the size of my circle, call it 20. Okay, then I'm going to say okay because I'm happy with my circle. Then what we're going to do is we're going to click extrude, and I can drag it along, or I can change the dimension there, or I can change the dimension up here, and I can also make it symmetrical if I want. Okay, so then I hit enter. That is one way of doing it. The slightly simpler way, or I don't really want to say simpler because I wouldn't say it's a better way. It is a little bit quicker, but you are combining two features, and I'm not a big fan of that because if you pick up an issue later, it's going to be a bit of a problem for you. So the other way you can do it, which is not the way I like to do it, but we can do it this way, is we click extrude. Then it says select the sketch. If internal sketch is preferred, the define option can be found in the placement panel. So we click placement, click define. As you see, your normal sketch menu will pop up there. You click again on the same datum plane that you wanted to draw on, and as usual hit sketch. Okay, then we're going to go back to our circle function again as usual. Click in the center, just click again, center click, select the size of the circle. Okay, then all we do is we say okay, we are happy with the sketch. Then it will automatically jump back to your extrude function as you saw there. So now you have an internal sketch which is part of your extrude. So this is the reason I don't like it, because you can edit the sketch afterwards, but it causes a bit of an issue sometimes with your other features. So I don't prefer doing it like this, but you can. So then, as I've said before, I like to do things symmetrical. Let's do 100, and well, I put it in there. You can double click there if you like, as I said before, as I explained in my sketch feature and my other videos. You can also drag it along, as I've said before. So you can, there's multiple ways to do this, but I prefer just to type in the dimension, hit enter. Make sure it's a solid, because if you do a shell or a surface, it's going to give you just that outer shell, which is not really what you want. Well, depending on your application. But today we're going to be doing a solid, and we're going to give it, we're not going to give it a thickness actually. You can give it a thickness if you like. So I could make that 5 more. Then we'd have a thickness of 5, or I can make it 2. Thickness of 2. I can go outside of my sketch, I can go center of my sketch, or inside my sketch. So those are your features. Sorry, I'm rushing through this a little bit. So if you go from this side, you look at my sketch, and I click on this, it will either move your extrude inside, outside, or in the center of your sketch. So when it's in the center, it's got half of the thickness on the outside and half of the thickness on the inside of your actual sketch. So I usually go inside, I usually work on outside diameters, but if you are working with something that requires you to use inside dimensions, you can. All you have to do is click on the function and it will shift it to where you need it. Okay, but we're not going to do thickness right now. We're going to leave it at 100. I'm happy with this now, so all I'm going to do is say okay. Then what I do, and you don't have to do this if you enjoy having your datum planes where you can see them, it's fine, but what I do generally when I get to this point is I hide my datum planes so that it's like that, and we can also hide the, well, can hide all of these because that's your center axis. I'm not going to use that right now. Those are your points. There's no points active. That's your XY axis, and those are your nodes, and there's none of those applicable at the moment. Okay, so then from here, the next one we're going to do is I'm going to draw on that surface. So what do I want to do is sketch, go over the surface and select it, highlight the surface, select, then sketch. It will turn it automatically as you saw there. Now, as I've said in my other sketch features or in other videos, center lines are very important in my opinion. It makes it a lot easier to draw squares, anything symmetrical, and 90% of the time symmetrical is king. So yeah, it just makes things better. It just makes it, unless you don't want it symmetrical, obviously there are applications for it, but I'm speaking in general terms now. So okay, we click the rectangle function, we click in the left corner, drag to the right till we see it's all symmetrical, we click again. Okay, now I'm happy with my sketch. So, well, let's just check it. I'm actually just going to edit the size of slightly. Let's make it 35 by 35. Okay, or I could also have just used my constraints as I showed you in my other videos. So equal lengths, and I can do that and then remove one, and boom, now they're equal. Okay, so now we have our square. I'm happy with my sketch. Again, extrude, extrude function. Now, do I want it this side or do I want it that side? That's up to me. Or I can always do it, yeah, that side or this side. Do I want to cut away the material or do I want to add material? If I want to cut away material and I say okay, it removes the material. Edit definition. If I want to add the material, we go the other way and we toggle that one and it will add the material. So we are going to go 20 millimeters. Simple, easy. Okay, now we're going to repeat the same process. Sketch, highlight surface, click surface, sketch. Okay, now again, symmetrical sketch. I'm going to make a triangle and select my line feature. Select the triangle. Do that. Okay, now we're going to use our constraints. So I'm going to use my symmetrical feature to get this line symmetrical. Okay, happiness. Okay, now what are we going to do? We are going to get the triangle exactly the same size, because what is the sum of a triangle? It is all the same lengths. So as you can see there, I'm just trying to see. We can just delete that one, that's fine. Okay, then we're going to use that same feature again and go, and voila, our triangle will now be exactly the same size on all sides, as you can see here. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to change this slightly. Then I'm happy with my triangle. So, okay, extrude. Now this one we're going to cut out. So we're going to go, say, 10 mils there. We're going to hit the remove material feature, and boom, there we go. Okay, now that we have our extrude feature, we've got our part all extruded like we want it. Now there are other features that we can use. I'm going to start with the round function. So very similar to our sketch function, you can round an edge, but if you hold the control function and you select other edges, you can make them all the same size. Once I've selected all my edges I want and I have my dimension here, all I do is I say OK. Simple, easy, and very good looking, if I might say so. Okay, then our next function that we've got is our chamfer tool. So on our chamfer tool, you can again just click the edge. It will give you a proposed chamfer. You have 3 different versions. 4, sorry. You can have where the dimensions are the same on both sides. You can have 2 different dimensions. So you can have one longer and one shorter. As you can see there, one deeper, one shallower, one shorter than the other. As you can see, so if I say OK, it's going to have quite a weird angle there. But if I go back and I say dimension, and I say OK, it will be an equal chamfer. Okay, then if I go again and I say angle dimension, and it's going to give me an angle that I can edit, and I can give it a length that I want, obviously. The other one, again, 45 and D, that automatically puts it at a 45, and then the length that you want. So we're just going to go with our normal double dimension. So then again, if I hold in control and I select more than one edge, it will chamfer all 3 edges. Okay, now another function that I didn't show you on the round, but it is in the round as well. If I want this side to be a different size to these other 2, I hit control and I select the side that I want to remove. Okay, then I go sets. As you can see here, that will be set 1. So those 2 is set 1. Then if I want to add a set, that'll be set 2. Okay, so now that I've said add a set, I'm on set 2. I can select the other side and I can change this to a bigger size if I want. And in doing that, I'll have 2 different chamfer sizes in the same feature. So as you can see, it doesn't look so great, but that's the function. If I go back and I actually remove that set, so if I go here, I'll take this set out and I push control and select that side again, it should give me a nice even chamfer right through. There we go. as you can see. Obviously, because the dimensions are slightly out, it made it slightly different. Okay, so that's a few of the features. You can also do the hole feature, which instead of actually sketching a hole, you can actually just click on the hole feature. You can click a surface. For this one, you do need your datum planes or something to reference from. Then I normally select one datum plane and select another datum plane. And if you want it in the center, I just say 0, enter, 0, no, sorry, that's the wrong one. That's on there, 0, enter. Okay, then my hole size is now 16. The depth is 3245. So I can change my depth here, or I can change my depth here. Okay. Then I can change my diameter manually, or if I want to, I can just use whatever's in the menu there. If I've used other dimensions, it will be up there. So let's say call it 12. Okay. Now, because it's a normal hole, no threads, simple. Say okay, and doof. No more, well, no more material, instant hole. Okay. Now, if I want threads, okay, we're going to do threads. Okay. Then we're going to do not UNC, we're going to do ISO. Then, well, I suppose we can do UNC. UNC is fine. Then we do 1/64. We can do, I think we should do, let's do a 1/4 20, I think. Yeah, let's do a 1/4 20. Okay. Then our depth of our hole needs to be, say, at least 10. So let's go, let's make it 15 actually. 15. Okay, then if I hit OK, give me a very small hole apparently. But as you can see, it's given me thread there. So then if I put my notes on, it will tell me 1/4 inch UNC 2B tap 0.48 and a number 7 drill. So it will give you all your information about the hole and the tapping and the depth and so on. So you can use that to actually, it's more useful in your when you do your detailing, but obviously you have to draw it first to do your detailing. Yeah, this this hole sizes, let me just change this. So if I'm gonna go back to ISO and I make it say, let's do 14.15. It should be closer. No, you know what, actually I'm lying. I am lying. I'm so sorry guys. Let's do UNC. I just want to show you guys what it should look like. Slightly bigger, well, slightly bigger, not much, but that's what it's like. So that will be your hole. So if you change your actual to find, you'll see there's your hole, and that is your threaded section. So it's very useful for that. Then you don't have to physically type it in yourself, so it just does make things a little bit easier for you. So okay, so we're gonna stop there today. Again, very basic stuff, but this is Creo for beginners. So if you like the content, if it is helpful, if it is actually teaching you something, please like, subscribe, share, or drop me a comment. If you have any questions, drop me a comment. If you have any requests for videos, drop me a comment. Please don't be scared to message me or email me and comment and ask me questions. I am more than happy to answer you guys and help you guys where I can. Yeah, so that'll be us for today. Thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a great day. Thanks, guys.